I want to talk about failed medical theories. There's thousands of failed medical theories every century, going back 5,000 years ago. The 20th century, 21st century, no different. One of the biggest frauds ever perpetuated against humanity is the theory of cardiovascular disease and its relationship to saturated fats and cholesterol. I believe, and we've estimated that 1 billion people have died because of the hysteria over cholesterol and saturated fat since 1952. It all started in 1901 when the German Navy went to a chemist at the University of Berlin, Germany, by the name of Wilhelm Norm, and said, look, we need a synthetic smokeless lubricant for diesel engines for German submarines. By 1904, he'd accomplished it, and after the First World War, the German Navy didn't need it anymore. So they allowed Wilhelm Norman to sell his patent for this synthetic smokeless lubricant for diesel engines for German submarines to a British soap manufacturing company, and they couldn't sell their soap, not because it wasn't a good soap, is because everybody's making their own soap during the 1920s and 30s and 40s. I can remember when I was a little kid in the early 40s, I was making soap with grandma and mom. Well, they were unsuccessful, and so they sold the patent to Procter and Gamble here in the United States. And Procter and Gamble was having difficulties selling the soap because everybody's making their own soap. And so a guy who was on the board of Procter and Gamble, also on the board of the American Heart Association by the name of Ancel Keyes, he was part of the medical school in the University of Minnesota, Minneapolis, and they actually named the military rations after him, the K rations during the Second World War, because he was the nutritionist to put the K rations together, you know, the dry food in the sort of package for meals ready to eat kind of thing. They called them K rations back then after him, Ancel Keyes. At any rate, 1952, they were having a real struggle with this soap, and so Procter and Gamble decided they were going to turn it into a cooking shortening, convenient, prepackaged in a can. Grandma didn't have to save bacon grease and lard and that kind of stuff, lard drippings to cook with. And they just were not having success selling this new cooking shortening. It was made from this smokeless synthetic German diesel engine lubricant for submarines. It was called Crisco. And so Ancel Keyes goes to a big advertising firm and says, hey, how do we sell this stuff? He says, well, you got to demonize it, make grandma think that she's killing her kids and her grandkids with this stuff, you know, with what she's using, and then show her the new stuff, the Crisco, and say, and make sure you have lots of church music and butterflies flying around, and she'll go towards heaven so she won't kill her kids and grandkids. Well, Ancel Keyes brokered a deal between Procter and Gamble and the American Heart Association, which the American Heart Association endorsed Crisco as a healthier way to eat in exchange for $1.7 million. They still couldn't sell it. And so they put this to work, and they analyzed the butter and the cream and the eggs and the lard, and they found two common threads, cholesterol and saturated fat. They started demonizing them, and they got a little traction, but no magic. And then Ancel Keyes said, oh, we forgot the heaven part. So he came up with a Mediterranean diet. Well, not only did we get low T, ED, menopause at age 30, and adrenal exhaustion, but we got Alzheimer's disease out of the deal because low T, ED, menopause at age 30, adrenal exhaustion, and Alzheimer's disease are all, guess what, cholesterol deficiencies. And, of course, the pharmaceutical industry went crazy with testosterone patches, Viagra, Cialis. They had Premarin, which is made out of horse urine for women trying to deal with the early menopause and osteoporosis. And then, of course, they have adrenal, either injections or pills or patches. And then, of course, now we have the statin drugs to lower cholesterol more. We wound up with Alzheimer's disease because 3/4 of the brain's weight, 75% of the brain's weight, is myelin, the white matter of the brain, which is almost 100% of cholesterol. When it goes away because you're not eating enough cholesterol to maintain your myelin, you get Alzheimer's disease. Of course, now there's drugs. There are Viagra, Cialis, Premarin. There's drugs for Alzheimer's disease. And, of course, every doctor is out there buying up nursing homes so they can get another couple of years out of the patient when they're in the nursing home, all because they wanted to sell Crisco. This was a 2 full-page article 3 years ago in the Wall Street Journal. And then in 2014, guess what? It was a cover article in Time magazine. The title was Eat Butter, Why Scientists Label Saturated Fat and Cholesterol the Enemy and Why They Were Wrong. It was a 5-page story about Ancel Keyes, the deal between Procter and Gamble and the American Heart Association. And, of course, look at all the people who've died from Alzheimer's disease, either directly from it, treatment of it, and so forth. All the other terrible side effects of a low-cholesterol diet. And I believe it's near 1 trillion people in the industrialized world that have died from Alzheimer's disease and other diseases as a result of a cholesterol deficiency. That's right, cholesterol deficiency. You need cholesterol to make steroid hormones, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, adrenal hormones. You need cholesterol to maintain your brain and avoid Alzheimer's disease. Eat 10 eggs a day. Take your 90 essential nutrients. Get the books, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, The Truth About Nutrition, and Epigenetics, and get all the CDs and DVDs associated with them. Dead Doctors Don't Lie, Truth About Nutrition, and Epigenetics. And we'll be back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie for these messages. Okay, Doug, what pearls of wisdom do you have for us today?
I'd talk about a story I got on Fox News today that's headlined, Most U.S. Dermatologists Receive Industry Money. They say 3/4 of U.S. dermatologists receive payments worth a collective of $34 million from drug companies in 2014. Most cases of payments were worth less than $50. However, researchers say that a few doctors were taking industry payments worth at least $93,622, according to the lead author, Dr. Marie Ledger, a dermatologist at the Weill Cornell Medicine, and says most dermatologists in the U.S., about 73%, according to this database, receive some form of payment from the industry. It's difficult to know what these payments mean, but it's seeing how money flows from industry to the dermatology profession is important in understanding the relationship between those two groups. She and her colleagues analyzed data from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Sunshine Act Open Payment Database, which records payments made from doctors, made to doctors, that is, from U.S. medical manufacturers and group purchasing organizations. They found that in 2014, 8,300 dermatologists received 208,000 plus different payments totaling $34 million. Those payments could take a number of forms, including gifts, grants, education, consulting, food, and beverages. I thought they outlawed that a few years ago, that they weren't allowed to do that any longer, but I guess maybe that didn't apply to dermatologists. They say, however, this represents less than 1% of the roughly $6.5 billion, that's billion with a B, paid to doctors in 2014. Researchers report in a journal American Medical Association's Dermatology. They say 1/4 of the dermatologists received less than $100, 63% received less than $500, and 78% received less than $1,000. The top 10% of the doctors received at least $3,900 plus, which represented 90% of the total paid to dermatologists. They say a top 1% of dermatologists received $93,600, which accounted for about 44% of the total, and about 81% of the compensation to the dermatologists came from drug companies. Almost a third of the payments were listed as speaking fees, about 22% were listed as consulting fees, and 17% were listed as research payments. And you got to wonder, Doc, how does that affect their prescribing habits? It's been proven in the past that it does.
Oh, absolutely. And they just changed the words. Instead of a kickback, it's a speaking fee. I mean, we have politicians who do the same thing. They don't take kickbacks. They take speaking fees. Okay, so we have to deal with that. So I urge everybody, when you have a skin problem, deal with it yourself first. Get a hold of the books, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, The Truth About Nutrition, and Epigenetics. Take the 90 essential nutrients, and we have all kinds of stuff. When you get on a gluten-free diet, it goes away. Eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, rosacea. Okay? We're talking about skin problems. And the related things. Asthma goes along with eczema and dermatitis quite a bit. And so what I urge you to do is do the simple things yourself first. And if the doctor wants to take biopsies and all this, that, and the other, except, if they're looking at skin cancer, you might want to go to an expert on the skin cancer. Go to the university and have them look at it before you let people start cutting on you. and taken biopsies and so forth, and they'll say, oh, that's a basal cell carcinoma. It won't metastasize any place. It will just kind of grow where it's at. We can put a couple of drops of liquid nitrogen on it, and it'll snap, crackle, and pop, and it'll kill that basal cell carcinoma, and it'll just pop right off without surgery and biopsies. And so you need to get second and third opinions when it comes to skin problems. Your opinion should be first. Again, get a hold of the books Dead Doctors Don't Lie, Truth About Nutrition, Epigenetics, and learn how to take care of your skin. We'll be back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie after these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Vista, California, and Peter, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Well, Peter, you're on the air.
Dr. Wallach, it's nice to talk with you, and thank you for all of that you've done with longevity and your formulation of these high-quality plant-based supplements that we are taking to think of.
You're very kind. How can we help you today?
Okay. Today I'm calling on behalf of two of my preferred customers. One is a lady. She's 78 years old. She's 140 pounds. Her diagnosis has been called sciatica. The x-ray showed that in her lumbar 4 and 5, she thinks there's pinching and swelling, as she's assuming. And the pain extends from her buttocks and hip to her calf and her legs. The different pains at different times. And she does not believe that it has a problem. She doesn't think she has a problem with gluten, and she doesn't think her diet has anything to do with her having sciatica.
Okay. Well, first of all, sciatica is a degenerative disc disease. The discs get narrower as you get older. If you're not supplementing properly to maintain them, right, your genes, DNA, and RNA have the ability to rebuild and maintain all your tissues, including the disc, but if they're not getting the raw materials, they can't do it. So whether you're malabsorbing it because you have a gluten intolerance or you're just not getting in your food because these things are not in our food anymore in optimal amounts, there's reasons for that. But at any rate, at 140 pounds, what would you do for this gal, Shar?
I would give her a healthy bone and joint pack, and I'd give her an extra bottle of glucogel.
Okay, very good. I would do exactly as you say. What we need to do, Peter, is give this little gal one healthy bone and joint pack. As Shar said, I get her another bottle of glucogel, so you can take 15 a day, 5 at breakfast, 5 at lunch, 5 at dinner. Wouldn't hurt to get her another bottle of osteo, because she weighs 140 pounds, so she could have 2 ounces of the osteo a day, 1 at breakfast, 1 at dinner, then a half a dose of everything else twice a day. And she could also, what would you give her for the pain in her back and her legs, Shar? Where would you put it? Would you put it on her feet?
No, I put it on her back, CM cream with trauma oil in it.
Yep, at lumbar 4 and 5, where there's a pinching of the roots of the sciatic nerves. Okay, hang on, Peter. We'll come back and get your second question after these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go right back to California. And Peter, second question.
Okay, this is one where there's atrial fibrillation, also irregular bowel movement in the morning for a lady. She's 66, weighs just under 200 pounds, and it's in a fluctuation in the heart, and then the bowel problem. So she's set for an ablation here soon. So I just wanted you to clarify exactly what to do in prevention of that.
Okay. And you said she's 66 years old?
66 and just under 200 pounds.
Okay. All right. Charmaine.
Yes.
What's going on with this gal here? She's got bowel problems, and she's got AFib. What's going on?
She's got the same problem the other woman had.
Exactly. Yep.
She needs a bone and joint pack. Two of them, actually.
Yeah, for the musculoskeletal stuff, right? And why am I talking about musculoskeletal stuff when she has AFib?
Because AFib is basically, there's nothing wrong with her heart. She's just got the nerve that controls the heartbeat is being squeezed going through her backbone.
Yeah, and another way you should say it is AFib is a peripheral neuropathy of the spinal nerves coming out from between T1, 2, 3, and 4, thoracic vertebrae 1, 2, 3, and 4. And at 66, the odds are she has degenerative disc disease or disc shrinking, the vertebrae getting closer, smashing the roots of those nerves, causing the AFib. And, of course, the first thing that a cardiologist wants to do is install pacemakers, defibrillators. That's not going to work because it's a back problem. Then they want to do ablation, which they're talking to her about now. They're going to kill a portion of her heart muscle, hoping to stop the really weird tachycardia or fast heart rate or irregular heart rate palpitations. And that's not going to work because it's a back problem. Next, they want to do retroversion, in which they kill you with electricity and sing a little ditty for 2 or 3 minutes and try to wake you back up, hoping to reboot your heart rhythm. And it won't work because it's a back problem, not a heart problem. Then they would reach the big one. They go for the heart transplant. They can spend $500,000 of your money, okay, through your Medicare, Medicaid, through your insurance policies, through your Affordable Health Care Act, $500,000 worth of cardiac procedures, and it's a back problem, as Shar says. And so at 190 pounds, how many healthy bone and joint packs would you give her at 190 pounds?
I give her 2.
Okay, 2, a full dose of everything at breakfast and dinner. And it'd be 15 glucogel a day, 5 at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The idea here is to give the genes, the DNA, the RNA, and the telomeres in her vertebrae the raw materials they need to rebuild the disc between the vertebrae and take the pressure off the roots of those nerves, and the AFib goes away. What a concept. The bowel problems go away when she gets off of gluten, because the bowel problems almost always are due to a gluten problem. Okay. And what would you do? How tall is this woman, Peter?
5'10", 5'9", 5'8".
Okay. 5'10", 5'8", somewhere in there, 5'9". I'd like to see her weigh 170 maybe for a lady, maybe 20 pounds overweight. So let's just see on the gluten-free diet and all the supplements, she'll lose the weight. Call us every 2 weeks, Peter. Bring us up to date. We'll be back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie after these messages.
Let's head across the pond to Ireland, and Michael, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Michael, you're on the air.
Hi, Doc. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Recently, after seeing a photograph of myself, normally I don't like looking at myself, but I noticed, or was shocked to see quite a noticeable forward head posture, and my doctor confirmed kyphosis, referring me to a physiotherapist.
Okay, how old are you? How old are you, Michael?
49.
Okay. And how tall are you, sir? How tall are you?
5'8.5". 5'8.5". I've
Okay,
lost.
and how much do you weigh? Okay, so you have shrunk an inch. Okay.
Yeah, 147.
147. Okay, do you have any other issues? Do you have any other issues such as diabetes or high blood pressure, arthritis, skin problems, eczema, dermatitis?
Yeah, I'm currently on a blood sugar pack because of reactive hypoglycemia.
Okay,
and
very good.
At the moment, I'm stretching 2 blood sugar packs over 3 months, just for your information, okay?
Okay, for economy. Okay, good.
Yeah, and a month ago I've started, which you recommended a year ago, but I couldn't afford it. But a month ago I've started alternating 15 glucogel, 10 glucogel, 15, alternating days, just to stretch 3 glucogel for over 3 months, okay? I have 2 questions. Could you recommend what tweaks I should make to that program to address this kyphosis, and whether it's 100% reversible,
okay.
and the cause? And
okay, well, kyphosis. Okay, let's stop there so we don't get too far ahead of ourselves. Kyphosis is a definitely a back problem, and it'll push your head forward, especially if you have rounded shoulders. Do you have rounded shoulders? In other words,
I don't know.
You have a little hump. Do you have a little hump in your back just below your neck?
I probably do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's called kyphosis, and it has to do again with osteoporosis, and sometimes you can have bone spurs in your vertebrae. Certainly degenerative disc disease. That's why you've shrunk an inch or so. And Charmaine, what would you do for this nice Irish guy? Of course, Char's married to a nice Irishman, so she's used to talking to Irishmen. Okay, and so what would you do for this nice Irishman, Charmaine? With this, in a woman, in an older woman, this would be called a dowager's hump. In a man, they call it kyphosis.
Well, he needs a healthy bone and joint pack.
Okay.
And I give him some extra glucogel.
Okay, and I throw in an extra bottle of osteo too, so he could have 2 ounces of osteo a day, one at breakfast, one at dinner time, and then a half a dose of everything else in the healthy bone and joint pack at breakfast, a half a dose at dinner time, and again, get him the other bottle of glucogel, so he could take a total of 15 a day, 5 at breakfast, 5 at lunch, 5 at dinner. And this is for all musculoskeletal problems, whether he's got bone spurs or whatever, and it'll be very useful to lay on a firm surface, with padding so you don't feel uncomfortable. But it wouldn't hurt to do that and allow your head and your upper body weight help you reduce that forward curve in your upper back. Okay? And you want to have a firm mattress. You want to do those kind of things. You might even get one of those little headbands with a harness on it that has a little weight, and you could put that around your forehead, around the top part of your skull, and may even get a little cap with that harness, and then lay on a bench that's padded, or lay on your bed that's padded, and have a small weight. Maybe just start out with 1 pound, and that will help reposition that kyphosis. If it's in the early stages, you might seek out some chiropractic help. I certainly wouldn't expect any really exciting advice from a neurologist or an orthopedic guy in the medical realm. Okay, did you have a second question here, Michael?
No, I think that was my question. Just would physiotherapy help, or just maybe in bed, like would take out pillows, would that help?
Yeah, physical therapy can certainly help. They're going to have to work on your neck and your upper back, and you can do a lot of this yourself, save a lot of time and money doing it yourself. And again, here's a case where you might want to get a hold of that trilogy of books, Let's Play Doctor, Let's Play Herbal Doctor, and Passport Aromatherapy, and it'll give you some detailed guidance. Okay, call us every couple of weeks, Michael. We love hearing from you Irish guys. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Gilroy, California, and Josie, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Josie, you're on the air.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. Thank you for answering my call. My husband called about 2 weeks ago. I was diagnosed, about 2 months ago, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. I am 38 years old. I weigh about 135 pounds. And my husband called, and you prescribed or suggested that I take, what's it called? Minocycline?
Minocycline.
Minocycline for 2 weeks. And so I've been doing that and also taking the vitamins as well. But I'm having some issues. I'm not sure. Well, 2 questions. One is I'm not sure how long to continue taking the minocycline. And then second question is in regards to my left knee, which is what started the whole medical evaluation regarding rheumatoid.
Okay, well, let's get to the questions here, the answers. Okay, really, I would go for 4 to 6 weeks on the minocycline, which is a member of the tetracycline family. It'll kill the bug mycoplasma, which causes the inflammatory part of rheumatoid arthritis. And then the other part, the basic part of rheumatoid arthritis, bone-to-bone arthritis. And so, Charmaine, what would you give Josie, who's 135 pounds, what would you give her for this musculoskeletal thing called bone-to-bone arthritis. When it's secondarily infected with with mycoplasma, you also can call it rheumatoid arthritis. What would you give her in addition to the minocycline?
I give her the killer biotic and the healthy bone and joint pack and the killer biotic.
There you go. At 135 pounds, one healthy bone and joint pack. I would get an extra bottle of glucogel, so you can take 15 a day, 5 at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's designed to support healthy maintenance, repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae. Also, wouldn't hurt to get an extra bottle of osteo. So you can take an extra ounce a day of that, so you can have an ounce of breakfast, ounce of dinner. Everything else in the healthy bone and joint pack, take a half a dose of breakfast, half a dose of dinner. And, Char, do you remember Antonia Scantlin from Alaska?
Yep. Her fingers were crooked, went the wrong way.
Yeah, they were like little seal flippers and all gnarled up. And for 23 years, she was disabled with rheumatoid arthritis. In just 90 days in the program, she's able to write and play piano and so forth. In fact, I was in Idaho just a couple of days ago, and there she and her husband are all the way down from Alaska to come see me. At any rate, still looking good. Call us every couple of weeks. Josie will walk you through this. Back after these messages. We're back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network. Dr. Joel Wallach here for Longevity and 90 for Life Crusade. And Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Maui, Hawaii. And Stephanie, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Stephanie. You're on the air.
Hi.
Aloha.
Aloha. Yeah, I just started actually 2 weeks ago with the Healthy Body Start Pack.
Okay.
And I'm having some issues. I've gained 7 pounds, and I'm having constipation issues.
Okay. All right. What do you weigh?
Today I weigh 172 pounds, and I'm 5'4".
Okay. 5'4", I'd like to see you weigh about 135, 140 kind of thing, so maybe 30 pounds overweight. And so 7 pounds of that is recent. And so do you ever have a history of constipation?
Yeah, absolutely. I've dealt with it my whole life, but
okay.
I've gotten it.
What about,
I figured out how to manage it until now.
Okay. And so what about any skin problems, any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
No, not until recently. In the past couple of weeks, I have a little bit of what I think might be eczema.
Okay. And what about, are you taking the original Healthy Start Pack where the canister of the BTT, Beyond Tangerine, has a blue cap?
I don't know what color the cap is. I can go look, though, while I'm on the phone with you.
Yeah. Okay. So, the blue cap is the original, and it does have wheatgrass and barley grass in it, which can be cross-contaminated with some gluten. That's why we came out with the 2.0 with the orange cap, which is drop-dead gluten-free. So which one do you have there? Blue cap or orange cap?
Orange cap.
Okay, good. So that's not the problem. You could have been just coincidentally contaminated with some gluten. And what would you add to Stephanie's program, Charmaine, to deal with the constipation that she's had quite for a long time?
I would take herbal rainforest at night.
Yep. Yeah, I had the herbal rainforest, and start out with a tablespoon at nighttime with a glass of water. You're looking at, that's a half ounce, so one quart's going to last you a month. 2 months, actually. 2 months, I'm sorry. Last you 2 months. And it's actually made from 14 classic detoxifying herbs, including cascara and sagrada and taraxacum, and then 78 plant minerals. Tastes very good. Little kids will drink it. They got to be careful, keep it up out of their way so they don't drink the whole bottle. And that will help you with the constipation part. But really look at everything you're eating and everybody in the house and the dog and the cat. They cannot have any gluten because of cross-contamination in the laundry, the food preparation surfaces, the couches where everybody watches TV, the beds and where you sleep together, renter, mother-in-law, partner, spouse. everybody's got to be gluten-free. And one of the places people constantly miss is the dog food and the cat food. And Shar, you've seen lots of dogs with gluten intolerance.
Right, yes.
Okay. And of course, that's why you see so many dog foods advertised on TV now. They're gluten-free and no-grain dog foods because it's so common. Why would you want to pay $50 every month for a cortisone shot from a veterinarian? We just get them off the gluten. You don't have to be a little bit of a detective. Wouldn't hurt maybe to cut the doses of everything in half and see if that doesn't help you a little bit. But you got to find the source of gluten. If you have the orange top, Deontay Tangerine 2.0, there's no gluten in that one. There's a possibility, not always, but there's a possibility you could have some in the original if it's blue top, use that orange top. So you got to look and see if coincidentally somebody else or yourself have been cross-contaminated, and that's the problem. So give us a call, but add the herbal rainforest, a half ounce at bedtime with a glass of water, and that 1 quart then will last you 2 months. Okay, how much time we have here, Doug? Well, that answers that question. Well, thank you, everybody. Really great testimonies and questions today. Thank you so much, Charmaine. Super job as usual, A+. And thank you so much, Doug and Sam. Superlative job as usual. And God bless each and every one of you. God bless our troops. God bless our Navy SEALs. And God bless America.